Are you a music producer looking to buy a new production laptop in 2020? If so, I know it can be a bit overwhelming. There's tons of options, but I did some research and I narrowed it down into my top 5 favorite picks for Windows-based production computers in 2020. I've got that list coming up, so stick around. Welcome back. My name is Jack. Thanks again for tuning into this video. Today we're talking about 5 recommendations for Windows-based music production laptops in 2020. So this is going to be a pretty brief video intended to kind of set you on the right path. It's not going to be super in-depth when it comes to specs or comparison. I haven't used all these laptops, but I have done some research and I just want to kind of point you in the right direction. Anything we talk about today, I'll have links in the description. This video isn't sponsored, but if you do purchase through those links, I could get a kickback from Amazon on qualified purchases, so that always does help. The first thing I want to preface is that my recommendation for a laptop for music production is going to have an i7 with at least a 500 gigabyte SSD and 16 gigabytes of RAM. You can get away with less, but I do feel like if you want to future-proof yourself and give yourself more time of satisfaction using that laptop, at least i7 16 gigabytes of RAM with a 500 gigabyte SSD is the way to go. The first laptop I want to recommend is the Razer Blade Stealth 13-inch Ultrabook. It's an i7 with 16 gigabytes of RAM, and it currently has a 256 gigabyte SSD, but that is upgradable to 500 or 512 or around there. So don't be worried about that. It has a 1080p display, but you can get an option of a 4K touchscreen, which is totally awesome. It's 13 inches, so it's nice and portable. It really fits in your backpack, which is great for producing on the go. It's machined CNC aluminum, which is fantastic. It's got an RGB light-up keyboard. It boasts all-day battery life, so is definitely helpful, and it's got a quick 4-core processor. The next laptop I want to recommend is the Dell XPS 16 gigabyte i7 version with the 512 SSD. This is more of your utilitarian kind of laptop. It's not going to be as sporty or gaming or fancy, but it will definitely get the job done. So definitely check that one out if you're looking for more of a incognito kind of subtle laptop that isn't going to be totally flashy or draw a bunch of attention, but still really gets the job done. The third laptop I want to recommend is another utilitarian, tough, well-known laptop that's really going to get the job done, and that's the Lenovo ThinkPad P52. This comes in at 15.6 inches on the display. It's 1080p, but it does have 6 cores in that 8th generation i7, and you can get this laptop with up to 64 gigabytes of RAM. I've never used a machine with 64 gigabytes of RAM. I can just imagine the amount of session plugins and VSTs and synthesizers you can run in there. How many instances of Serum can that support? Probably a lot. It's amazing. The one I'm going to link in the description is just the 16 gigabyte model, which is a little more price friendly, but just to know that you have that option to upgrade to 64, that's pretty crazy. Alright, the fourth laptop I want to recommend is one of my favorite, and I think it's really got great value for the money, and that's the ROG Strix. And it's a 15-inch gaming laptop, but it's got a great NVIDIA graphics card, so if you ever do want to get in gaming, that's there. But it also has a 9th generation Intel i7. So you've got a newer processor, it's faster, it's more future-proof, and it's really going to set you straight for many years of music production. So definitely check that one out. Alright, now number 5 and the final laptop I want to recommend goes against what I said at the beginning, but this is going to be a little less beefy than the other laptops, and this is really just going to be your best budget option. If you're a new producer and you're looking to really get into this for the first time and buy your first laptop, I would go for this. You don't have to save up. I would just start producing, get what you got, get what you can afford, just yeah! It is the HP Jaguar 15, and it's an i5 with 8 gigabytes of RAM. It's a great starter laptop, and it's going to get you going. You can save some money for plugins and software because the Lord knows we spend too much on all of that stuff. It's expensive. Anyhow, thanks again. I hope this list was helpful. Again, like I said, I didn't go into a bunch of details, but I did want to set you in the right direction. I do have links in the description, so feel free to check those out. Look at product reviews, compare some specs. Before you leave, let me know in the comments if you're using a different laptop. Maybe you've had some experience with some of these laptops. If you have a recommendation or you want to start a conversation about music production laptops, do let me know. I'd love to hear your advice and your feedback, so please bring it and leave it to the comments. Thanks again so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like. Hit subscribe if you want to come along for the journey. I've got a lot of content that I'm trying to bring to you, and any support really does mean the world and puts the wind beneath my wings to keep me going on this journey. So thank you again. I hope you have a great day, and I will see you in the next one.